So yeah, we'll hang out for just a couple minutes here, let people trickle on in. The rough plan for however long we decide to go is to kind of just do a tour of what's up, how to get to certain things that may not be so obvious, talk about some of the work we've done. We had a good question in our Patreon Discord about, hey, what if you want to just show off like things you're proud of? Like, yeah, actually, I do. We have a lot of that I really want to call out. So maybe we'll do a little bit of that too. I'd love to just do some Q&A about the wiki as a whole. It can be about articles like, where's this? Why didn't you do this? This place sucks. It doesn't have anything. Why? Why'd you launch it? We'll take any and all of those kinds of
all fair questions.
Yeah. Hopefully by now, I say hopefully, it's been 3 days. You should have had plenty of time to listen to a 3-hour podcast by now to get everyone's thoughts.
Yeah, if anyone has an office job, what are you doing? You should have already finished it by now, like I have.
So that's the plan for now. Also, I did get in a giant box of stuff. So I want to show off some of those things. I can actually answer questions that I had for myself. Like, part of this was all research. A lot of it's Dragon Quest manga, but not all of it. I got a bunch of regular V-jumps here for other stuff. So, I've been looking for some dates and chapter confirmations on things. So we might do some of that live here on the stream too.
That's exciting.
Why don't I actually start it off a little bit? So I will talk a little bit about my thought process for Dragon Quest stuff in general. So why don't I go there? You know what? I'm actually let me break this down for you. So you could just search Dragon Quest and you would get it. But then I was thinking like, all right, how would you know it's there if you didn't? So I thought, well, Dragon Quest is a video game. So why don't we start from the games page? So what I had done is broken it down into all these categories originally for Dragon Ball games. I had compilations in there and crossover games, but then I got thinking as we were expanding, like, all right, well, I should put in the Dr. Slump games. There's only 2 of them. More on that in a second. And I was like, oh yeah, there's the Sandland game. There's only 1 of those. Oh, there's the Acman games. I know exactly. There's 3 Super Famicom games and 1 Game Boy game. Like, this is going to be easy. So I said additional franchises. And then, we'll get into Dragon Quest and how that changed. Dragon Quest is below. Why don't I start there with the additional franchises page? There's more than 2 Dr. Slump video games, as I've come to find out, because the Japanese microcomputer scene in the early 80s was wild.
Oh, man.
So, yeah. So there's an entire Dr. Slump section here. Yes, there's the Goko Ackman. It's funny. Sandland, which is the most recent one, is one. My other laptop over here is like, hey, do you want to restart now? No, my dude, I'm streaming. I'm watching a stream.
The worst
over
time.
Anyway, Sandland is the most recent one. I don't have a title card for that one yet. To be fair, I have been trying to grab all title cards from Japanese versions of games where appropriate, and I don't have the Japanese version of Sandland. Anyway, so scrolling back up, this is something that I fell into like literally, I don't want to say the week, but maybe about 2 weeks before we launched was, there's more than 2 Dr. Slump video games. And you'll notice that almost all of these have pages now. I really fell down a well on these. I'm roughly familiar with some of these microcomputers, like the SharpX one. I definitely know from things like the Castlevania game. I want to say, no, was that Chronicles started on the X68000, I think? Anyway.
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, it was a remake of Castlevania 1.
Yeah.
And I believe that was ported to the PS1, but there are still a lot of differences. It had like an arrange mode and stuff.
Yeah. But the microcomputer started on, I can't remember if it was the X1 or the 68000, or if those are one and the same. I know less than...
Castlevania, like the OG, I think was on the MSX.
No, the original version of Chronicles, pre-PS1.
Oh, okay. Then that one was Sharp something or other. If we're not talking about the MSX.
We're not going to Google this now. Anyway, so that's one of those computers. Let's just look at one. Let's look at that one. So the Run Senbase on. This is really cool. So we've been, we don't obviously own these, but we have been grabbing some of the photos from secondhand auction sites And I did on this one. I've been trying to throw in archive.org links of them when I see them. Maybe I did on Jump Up. I did here. So yeah, you can see the Mercari link. I'm gonna have to go back and fix that for the other one. So I guess why don't we, I don't have the English translations for this one. All right, let's go back to Senbei-san. So I do have the translation here. Cool thing about the boxes for these games is they would show the programmer of the game and give a little bio of them. So we're like, hey, we can translate that. This text doesn't exist anywhere else on the internet. So now we know that Takeshi Goto, who was 19 years old and was working with microcomputers for 6 years, made this game. And that's super cool.
Impressive.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I mean, from what I know, which is, I feel like I'm constantly learning new things about gaming culture in the 80s in Japan.
Yeah.
Actually getting to see publicized information about programmers feels like a rarity because they were often kind of like shied away, and they didn't, the companies that hired them didn't want them to get poached. So yeah, that's actually really cool. I didn't catch that.
It is, some of these, we see the phrase, like idea contest. Let's see if that's in, oh, no, I didn't have the translation for that one. Operation Bubble, and we've got the gameplay in that. No, that one doesn't have it. Maybe Penguin Village has it. Nope, we don't have the translation on that one yet. How about Maze Mansion? Somewhere it's about like Shueisha Idea Factory or Idea Contest. So I think a lot of these were they like solicited programmers to make these kinds of games super cheap and put them out. Because you'll see a lot of them where a couple of the programmers like has made 6 games, 8 games, and has had a lot of success in them. So,
so cool.
It's just very cool. There's very little information about these games in Japanese, never mind English. So I'm really pleased that we're able to share some of this stuff. There are some Japanese listings for these, and obviously some of these I was able to pull myself from emulating the systems. Others, I do give credit to some of the sites where if I don't have the ability or some of these games have actually been dumped. And I was just working like I couldn't figure out how to load because these are all cassettes. So there's like wave file dumps of some of these games in addition to other formats. It's just fucking wild, man. It's very, very cool. So anyway, where we were originally going was Dragon Quest. So now you can see where I'm like, okay, I need to figure out how to categorize some of this stuff. So I said, all right, these are games based on the direct works of Akira Toriyama. You can then understand how Dragon Quest is different from that. It's not based on a work of Toriyama. He worked on it. So I just called it Dragon Quest for now. If and when I expand that, which I probably will, because I want to put Blue Dragon in here at some point. So I may do it as like a subcategory of games with character designs by Akira Toriyama. And then we can do Dragon Quest and Blue Dragon kind of within there. But that kind of led me to the, how do I surface Dragon Quest to even begin with? I promise I'm getting to some of the manga and stuff that I'm doing. So the main Dragon Quest page, and I think we talked about this last time, Jake, you were on one of these streams, was the focus tidbit at the top where it's like, hey, this is tangentially related to Toriyama because it's a much larger topic than normally we might cover, although that's changing.
Yeah.
So that's the main Dragon Quest page. Some of this we had before. Some of this was in response to what you told me about, Jake. It was like, hey, maybe we should put some of the people in there. Hey, you're absolutely right. So I started throwing in some of the most notable people in there. Nakatsuru is important. I didn't do all the manga artists because I'll show you that in a second. Although Osamu Kaneko is a manga artist, but because he did some character designs too, and I have an article about him already, I'm going to throw him up top. So that was my thought process there. Slime design process. We already showed some of the stuff. These are all the comments that Toriyama did in the manga talking about playing Dragon Quest. Here are the cameos. Here's the obligatory Dragon Quest 13 and the PS6 reference that we're still kind of on track for, which is incredible. All the games that he did character designs for. Here are the art books. This is something that I pulled in last second, but I had actually previously written for an as of yet unpremiered page on the main website, which I'm not going to share too much about because I think it's kind of special. But Puff Puff, all the information you read about Puff Puff online is wrong. because people cite the first town for where it takes place, but no one ever goes back to the original Dragon Quest. They changed the town that the first Puff Puff occurs in, starting with the Super Famicom remake of Dragon Quest. There's a Dragon Quest 1 and 2 remake on Super Famicom. Think of it as like a Mario All-Stars version of Dragon Quest. They did that for 1, 2, and 3. Starting with that version, they changed the town. So there's actually it is a legitimately good article on Hardcore Gaming 101, but they don't cite the original game for where it takes place in. I thought that was kind of missing online. So I wanted to really get into that here. So I went back. So this is the town of Remoldar. This is the original resolution of that image where the lady offers a Puff Puff for 50 gold. In case you don't know, that lady's changed a little bit in the American edition. She says, "No, I have no tomatoes. I have no tomatoes today." So
good taste.
Good taste. And so this is the change of the first Puff Puff and the Super Famicom version. And it's actually cheaper. It's 20 gold as opposed to 50. Reverse inflation, apparently. The town is Myra in Japanese, but it's called Cole in the English localization.
Is this further, or is the town in the remake, is that any further or earlier in the game?
It is I originally wrote this one town earlier, but I was playing on a later save file. When I just replayed it last year in the HD 2D remake, I think you can technically get to it earlier, but it in the main story is later. That's one thing I have to fact check. And so I took out that line about you get to it earlier.
I experienced it in the HD remake, which is the only version that I've played, like on the first day that I played it.
Yeah,
so pretty early on in the game.
Early. Yeah.
But that's fascinating.
Town.
I would have thought maybe the gold was changed depending on like where you were in the game, but hey, maybe not.
Nope. It's the one location. And there's over the course of the series, there's a lot more to say about the Puff Puff, but that's where I left it for there. And obviously I start with, it starts in Dragon Ball, but it's a recurring trend. Anyway, here's where we're getting to the meat and potatoes of crazy shit I've been doing. And that's manga series about or based on or in the world of Dragon Quest. And I kind of explained this when I was chatting with Doug, actually on my last live wiki stream. How do I want to describe this? It's, Toriyama did these incredible designs for the game. He obviously did not make Dragon Quest, but he was such an integral part of it. And the way I think about it, and I think I kind of put this in okay terms last time, was his work provided the backbone, the scaffolding, the underlying basis for all these other people to have their own careers based on his work. So like, sure, they might not use the hero characters from the game, but if they're using a slime, if they're using a chimera, those are Toriyama's designs, and they made their livelihood based on the work that he did and he started. I kind of equate that a little bit to, it's very different, but you can see my train of thought here is like dub actors. Like they owe their livelihood to the fact that someone else came first and lied down an underlying work beforehand. It's not the same because they're doing a replacement work for someone, but I think it's like, it's not in the same ballpark, but it's like the adjacent different sports stadium. I don't do sports analogies, but that's what I was thinking.
Important. I think it's important for sure.
And I wanted to cover it, and I've learned more and more just how many there are and that I didn't know about. I knew the big ones. I knew the Adventure of Dai. I knew Emblem of Roto. I didn't know that Emblem of Roto had its own sequel series, and said sequel series is like twice as long as the original series. Like these are their own total media empires in Japan. And so I think one of the coolest ones that I found, and I totally fucked up last time, I forgot about Oishi doing the Jump Super Anime Tour special manga adaptation. Like, boop, completely gone from my mind. So she did that first. That was first. However, in between her doing the Jump Super Anime Tour manga and then her coming back for Dragon Ball SD and then episode of Bardock. Nope, not that one. This one. She was in V-Jump. she teamed up with Osamu Kaneko, who does all these slime manga, and she did this manga called Dragon Quest Monster Battle Road Victory. So Monster Battle Road was, think of it as like the equivalent of Dragon Ball Heroes for Dragon Quest in the arcade. All the characters, you put them on screen, you battle with each other. It's even got the like press the button at the right time, because that's the only like gameplay you can do in those arcade games. She did this short manga series in V-Jump that I just totally missed, because it's in an era of V-Jump that I didn't have a whole lot of issues from. I actually only recently got some of these. And even when I got them, I'm like, this is the era where there's no Dragon Ball stuff going on. So why am I going to like really flip through them and look for anything? I looked for the figures ads and, any upcoming stuff, but I didn't pay attention to the Dragon Quest manga. If I looked, I would have noticed. I mean, look at those designs. Could that be any more Oishi? And so I was psyched to find it. I only had 3 of the issues. I still only have 3 of the issues. More on that in a second. But it did get a collected edition. So I'm super psyched to say that, that's the photo there. Now I also have that collected edition of this manga. So I had the first 3 chapters of it. There's a splash on the first title page or chapter 1's title page that says running in the next 3 issues. I'm like, great. It's a 3-chapter manga series. I happen to have 1, 2, and 3, whatever those 3 issues in a row are. I get to the end of the 3rd chapter. I'm like, this series ain't over. So I looked at online listings and it appears for the next several issues. Like, you gotta be kidding me. This isn't over yet. So I couldn't find table of contents for all the next issues. So I didn't want to do I get 1 more issue? Do I get 3 more issues? Do I get 6 more issues? I'll eventually get them all just so I can kind of like bridge my collection. What year is this? This is V-Jump. This is 2010. So, I mean, think about when this is. This is, Heroes hasn't even started yet. Was that 2010? I'd have to check that. Here, we have a site that can do that. I haven't finished the page, but if we go to games, we go to arcade games, Dragon Ball Heroes 2010. Yep. So yeah, Dragon Ball Heroes hasn't started yet. There's really nothing going on for Dragon Ball. There's Bakuretsu Impact. There's the pre Heroes Cardos games. Anyway, long and short is I got the collected edition in. I go to the table of contents. I can see it's 6 chapters. So if I want to get the entire original serialization, I have to get the next 3 issues of V-Jump. That's cool to know for whatever my next box is. I can get that.
At least you know how many there are, so you're not just second guessing and buying V-Jump after V-Jump.
Exactly, which I'm not opposed to doing. But I also had, hey, who else we got joining us? Let me
New challenger
over.
Approaches.
It's Shu. Hey, Shu.
What's going on?
How are ya?
I'm doing all right.
Excellent. All right, I'm going to wrap up chatting Dragon Quest Monster Battle Road Victory, and then we'll talk about some other stuff here. Anyway, where I'm at is, I'm so excited about this. And I happen to have the issue before this, so this is how I have the preview for this manga coming. This is the thing I've been doing a lot more of lately, too, is getting the issue before things, because you want to talk about, like, how did people know this was coming out? How, like, what was said about it as it was coming out? So for a lot of these series, I've been doing this. Here's what the next issue preview said about it. So basically where I'm at with this is I know that I need to get the next 3 V-Jumps to have all of it in its original serialization. In the meantime, I've got the collected edition. For me, this is just like, now I even more understand how Oishi fits into not just Dragon Ball's history, but like Shueisha's larger like grind for these artists and these producers here. It wasn't just that she did the Jump Super Animator special and then they held on to her and waited. She was probably developing Dragon Ball SD at the same time, but in the meantime, for half a year, she was doing this Dragon Quest series. And I think it's neat that they teamed her up with Osamu Kaneko, who has been doing slime manga since 1993. Like, this is his world, is really cute, funny spin-off Dragon Quest manga. It just like brings it all together for me. And I just think that's neat. No.
It's kind of like when you keep pulling on the thread. You really could start with Nakatsuru with the Super Saiyan 4 form.
Sure.
And it's like, well, if we're gonna get Nakatsu in there, you got to start pulling on all the other threads. And this, I'm wholeheartedly behind doing all this.
Yeah. I got one more Dragon Quest thing I want to share, and then I'll turn it over to y'all. I'll just drive and we can show some of the things you've had going on. But I've been learning about other Dragon Quest manga series. And in particular, I like the short ones because they're much more obtainable. And so I learned about this one called Dragon Quest Monsters Plus. I love the Dragon Quest Monsters games. I think I've talked about this a fair bit. I really like those games. I think they're better than Pokemon. Hey, this series, Dragon Quest Monsters Plus, came out in English a few years back. You can just buy it. So I've noted the English release. This came out from 7 Seas in 2019, all in 1 year.
Oh, 7 Seas.
Yeah. So that you can just buy. And I was thinking, well, I always like getting first issues of things. So what if I got the issue of Monthly Gun that this series premiered in? So I did. This is a thick boy. Let me hold up a tankobon next to it. This.
Oh.
You think Weekly Jump is a thick boy, but this thing is a beast, man. It's something else. And it's the first thing in this issue. And simultaneously on chapter 42 by this point, I think, is another Dragon Quest manga series, which I just bought, I think, the entirety of. This is all 10 volumes of Dragon Quest. Is it Maboroshi no Daitan? Hold on. Let's go to my user page because I list out here. What do I want to work on? Maboroshi no Daichi. So I got to figure out if it's Realms of Revelation, which is the title of the game, or the Phantom Land, which is kind of like a more direct translation of this kanji here. Anyway, this is a 10-volume manga series as well. That's in addition to this 14-volume Dragon Quest manga series. This is an unfinished manga adaptation of Dragon Quest VII. This ran as well. 14 volumes unfinished. These aren't even the big ones. This isn't Dai. This isn't Roto. This is this other stuff.
Wow, man.
So anyway, Dragon Quest Monsters Plus came out. It got a recent Kanzenban edition. I haven't been able to find any photos or scans of its original Tankobon edition. So I bought those. And I'll do scans of those to put online. I rest my case.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good case. It's a pretty strong case right there.
So let me open it to, let's pause there. Let's do a little bit of Q&A. It can either be Jake, Shu, or folks watching on Twitch. Love to get your thoughts, reactions to, or questions about some of the Dragon Quest stuff going on. Like, let's just say expanded focus beyond what you probably expected there to be. Like, you definitely expected Dragon Ball. You probably expected a little bit more. Hey, Zephyr's in the chat. Any thoughts or reactions to some of this stuff? Why don't we start internally here, Jake or Shu?
I've just been seeing positive reactions online. I don't really have a question right now, but a lot of reactions have been, oh my God, it's finally happening.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I did see a tweet escaped into the wild. I saw someone tweet something that was like, oh my God, Kanzenshuu actually did it. And it had like thousands of views, but they didn't link to it, of course, but had its own little thing full of comments going. And I was like, wow, okay. So it's slowly but surely it's getting out there. So.
That's great. Yeah. I saw Lance Mystery Fusion had a nice thread on YouTube as well. Like a nice thread of comments as well. It's funny. Everyone's talking about it other places. Tell us what you like and talk to us too. That'd be fun. Yeah, it's cool. All right. Um, I'll just sit in the driver's seat here. Jake, do you want me to take a look at anything in particular? Where do you want me to go?
Let's take a look. Actually, I mean, I was looking at that game page.
Okay.
Because I've been there before, but I love, just the main game page. I love the associated images that have come with all these different subjects. I guess it didn't occur to me earlier, but seeing the screenshot from Z Movie 3 for tabletop games got like a kick out of me.
Yeah. That was a lot of Kanzenshuu Patreon Discord recommendations there. So chat, what up, chat? You did a great job.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I've always thought, Kanzenshuu in general is always, you guys have had a good sense of graphic design and cheekiness. And so being able to have this as well as the, I saw on the character pages, all those original, like the character art that's been provided is fantastic. So.
I kind of forgot. So let me go to that. I completely forgot that we have, I don't want to say it's not exclusive, but it's original artwork. Like these are not from something else. This is the Devil's Corpse who's using his artwork for us on our page. I love it. I mean, it's beautiful.
The first time I went to that page, I was wondering where those came from.
Yeah, me too, actually, because it's been so long. I completely forgot. And I was like, I should recognize his style, but like, it's so crisp and clean and like on model and stuff too. It's even the Arale is like modern super Arale. Like it's up to current branding guidelines. It's actually kind of hysterical. Yeah, I really like this style. Hold on. You know what it was probably the inspiration for it? If we go to, what if we went to, am I thinking the rumor guide? No. Yeah. If we go to the rumor guide and we go to, I'm trying to think of like, no, you know what it is? It's the, if we go to the manga guide, what the kind of inspiration for that style is, or like these boxes that we do elsewhere across the site, where it's like image, but then the lower third is its own thing. We can do a lot more, interactive CSS on the main site. But those kinds of styles are a bit the inspiration for these, where it's just, image and then lower text as well.
Well, hey, I mean, speaking of the main site, here's a good question for you.
Yeah.
Maybe this is thinking too far ahead because right now we're like, oh, the wiki is the pipe dream, so we're putting all of our focus on that. Yeah. But I mean, going forward, I know translations continue to pop up on the main site.
Yeah.
Has there been any consideration for other projects or things that you want the site to be used for specifically? I mean, we got the site as the news source, everything that's already there, but anything stirring in the back of your mind of like, oh, the site would actually be the perfect repository for this?
Less repository and more just continuation of things like the rumor guide and FAQs, and actually some features as well. Stuff that needs narrative alongside it, like an explanation, of things. It needs that expert analysis rather than blank from blank. So I'll say that the puff information comes from one of those things that I'm have been working on. A lot of that stuff got put on ice to get the wiki launched, honestly.
Sure.
So I do want to get back to that. And some of the stuff has changed since I first did drafts. Like one of the things that was originally going to be a rumor guide article and then changed into an FAQ was Toriyama versus Toyotaro as the writer of the Dragon Ball Super manga. And in the time since I started that draft, Toriyama has passed. Like there's a lot of that stuff just needs, wholesale revisions. But we've kind of mentioned this a bit, but that's what I envision the main site as being used more for. I still want to have like raw listings, like episodes and chapters. Those need to be on the main website. And like, yes, the wiki will certainly have those because those act as citation sources for other things. That's kind of where my head's at, where Heath's head is at on that kind of stuff. What's really funny is that I saw a comment somewhere that I got linked to, and Jake, I think it's from the same Twitter thread where someone was like, "Do they have translations?" Like, yeah, the main website has had translations since it launched.
It's actually a really robust search system, might I add. Like the tools for searching through the tags on all the translations are really useful. So yeah, please go poking around there.
Yeah, I think we have been around so long. All right. So I saw a real funny thing going around where was it Yoshi P who was saying like, we take so long between Final Fantasy games that younger generations don't know or have any affinity for the franchise. That is Kanzenshuu, is that like we literally go fandom generations. If you think about the fact that most people cycle in and out after about 2 to 3 years, like we've missed entire generations of fans who don't use websites, don't know how to use websites, only use apps, only use, at one point they only used forums and they only used Reddit and they only used apps. Like there's an entire generation that came and went on like Google Plus. Like they're just gone. So we kind of need a reintroduction to the world of Dragon Ball fans. But I'm also not going to do video, so I guess we're kind of stuck there. I really don't know, but I think that answers the question a little bit there.
Yeah, perfectly. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, Kev says you forget how long 5 years is once you get into your 30s. Yeah. How about your 40s? That 5 years is like, boop, weren't we just there? That was yesterday.
Yeah.
Cool. Shu, what do you want to take a look at?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that really comes to mind that's like, if you want to show something I've spent most of my time staring at is the movie Blu-rays.
Yeah.
But that's like the one thing I pretty much worked out to almost completion. The only thing that's not on there is booklet content.
Oh, look at this. Secret of the Dragon Ball has popped up in the time since I've looked at this page. Yeah, this page needs a bunch of work. This is one of the last minute things I threw up where I was like, oh, we have all these home video pages and no way to get to them or find them. I should probably start something. So this is that something. But let's go to this.
I'm personally still scared, but it's still so many more to do. So.
This like landing page was, I'm pretty sure, like all there before I started.
Okay.
So it's the individual pages that I did, but it's to give you an idea of like what we're working. I kind of like what Jake put together for the North American stuff. I kind of just like tried to mimic that with the Japanese
That was
side.
based off of Mike and Therese mostly doing that. So yeah, you're not alone on that, dude.
Yeah. So walk us through. So you come to, all right, this is movie one. Hey, I happen to have this one. That's a dead zone right there. Tell me about this page.
So, I looked at, like, for example, the Dragon Ball Z Season 1 DVD. I looked at the format of it. I was like, what information's important? Go to the Kanzenshuu main site home video page just for some reference to, like, for the catalog number. Double check that on my own. And the plot summaries, I was like, we have those on the North American stuff, so it might be good to have those on the Japanese side too. And it doesn't do a whole lot of good to an English audience to see just the Japanese written out, so went and translated it too.
You know what? You actually went above and beyond. You did internal links on the Japanese names here.
Yeah, I was just about to say, man.
Well, it made it because I did all the Japanese summaries and then went back from the beginning and translated it. So it made it easy. It was like, I already know where all the links are. I don't need to like think about it again.
That's so funny. Yeah. Well, that's cool. So these are the actual summaries from that Blu-ray, which is good to have because it mirrors what we have. Let's compare. We'll go back and forth. We'll do home video. Jake, what's something that's pretty robust that we can look at? A season set?
Any of the single volumes I'm more happy with. These are fine too. Yeah.
What's single?
Yes,
Ultimate Uncut?
The single Z.
This one? There's nothing here.
Just the regular single. Is there nothing there for single volumes yet?
I don't know what to link to on that one.
Okay.
What's title?
I'll have to go look at that.
Tell me.
I can tell you, I used like Dragon Ball Season 1 as a reference rubric for that.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go take a look at that. I'm pretty sure those are all done.
Okay. Yeah. So all right. Perfect. Discard. We get the summary, which is exactly.
Oh, there's discard.
Oh yeah. Hey, there you go.
Yeah. Disc menus. Yeah, look at this.
Yeah. So
get menus.
More or less just a transcription of what's on there.
Yep.
I think these the Dragon Box stuff from Japan, getting screenshots of those menus is, I mean, at least to me, more fascinating than the stuff that we're getting over here, just because it's like not many folks over here are going to be familiar with that kind of content.
Yeah.
So I just think that's super cool that we're doing this. But yeah, on the blue bricks, there's any of those bricks that come with the full pamphlets. So there was a lot of I think Mike for getting those saved PDFs when they went up on Funimation's site for the whole ass just straight up pamphlet is right there available to download because it was just freely available for anyone at the time. They're not there anymore.
We did there's a mirrors section that I have hidden away on the server that I've backed up, like all the pamphlets from these sets, some podcasts that seem important to save for future posterity, and just some other stuff here and there. Just felt important to have them there.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. That's what I've been chipping away at. It sounds like you're chipping away at something similar, pretty similar.
Yeah.
Recent booklet contents. Yeah, we'll get back to
I'm gonna have to find a change of pace because that was starting to exhaust me.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. But that's also the nice thing about doing this, and I think we talked about this a little bit on the podcast episode, was one of the differences about the wiki compared to the main site is you can just do like part of a page and go do something else. And that's okay, because the expectation is that it's not going to be completely finished. So you can see, like, this is a recent changes page. I encourage people to check this out, look at it. Kev, you were just on my page. Did I have a typo on this page? Whenever I see someone in there, I assume that I had a typo, which is great. Thank you.
It's good to have.
But yeah, you can see just like, it didn't say it out loud this time. Yeah, just fix it for me. You can see like just how I was going to use a word, but I think it's considered a slur overseas. How indecisive you can be sometimes on what you want to work on. So you just do one thing, you jump to another thing. You see something somewhere, you go somewhere else. This is funny. So we can look at like what were we working on the day before, like the night before we launched?
Well,
Jake working on the page. I know what the removal of content there is. That makes sense. And me dumping stuff on the Wukong page. I was throwing in screenshots from international channel. Look at that.
So you keep going with that thread, but just as a reminder, going back later to go back to the list of the Ocean Dub episodes. But yeah, keep talking about this.
It's just funny looking at what all we were.
When I saw that pop up, I was jazzed because that was how I discovered the Japanese version as a kid. So I was like, yes, we absolutely need a page for international channel, because I think there's a lot of confused kids in the late 90s if they happen to go to that channel. I
also want to shout this out. The Nippon Golden Network page. I know I shared some of this on Blue Sky a little bit, but thanks to my buddy Vic, I captured some more tapes. I have actual screenshots of their own promos, saying when it aired. You don't get any more concrete than that. I mean, it's a garbage quality tape up there, but like that is it. Like this was official subtitle Dragon Ball Z airing on American television before Funimation had the franchise. Like it doesn't get cooler than this here, folks. And it's there. I know there are captures of some of this stuff out there, but again, it is devoid of context. And as someone who was around for this stuff, I feel it's my duty to say this. Also, y'all, I got dates for when this stuff happened. Here's me going through newspapers and Usenet and stuff. There's the notes for all that. Love it. All right. Jake, what did you want to go back to? You want to look at the dub episode page?
List. Yeah, it said list of Funimation English episodes. It would have been the night before it went live. Oh, there you go. Right at the top.
The 96, 2003 one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and we briefly talked about this like a few days before it went live. And then as I was working on this page, I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm just going to do it. So I couldn't. So, okay. First of all, Chris Saros website, DBZ Uncensored, classic, iconic website. Absolutely should go check it out for a blast of the past. Someone's personal journey, let's say, through going through all the early dub episodes and categorizing all of the cuts and censorship and all that kind of stuff. And that individual had also made essentially notes on how the episodes were restructured from the Japanese version. And yes, we have that as a source. And I noticed there were just a couple of them that person just happened to, he was like, look, I didn't record this episode. Sorry. So he didn't have that written down. And I was poking around. I even asked the wiki or the Kanzenshuu team about it. I was like, hey, does anyone have any like definitive list of like the edited episodes where they start and begin? And I mean, when I got room silence, I was just like, you know what? I got all the files on my computer from Rock the Dragon. I got all the Japanese episodes. I got the Kanzenshuu episode guide. It took me about 4 hours, but I just scrubbed through them all. And
yeah,
it wasn't that bad. But like now this is the list here. If you want to see which Japanese episodes match up with those first 50 something or so, this is where to go. And the rest of the site also has blanks for this information in the individual episodes, which I'm going to be going back in there and updating soon, but this will be the new source for that.
Gosh. So just to clarify, what you're talking about is the fact that the episodes were not just edited. So sometimes you'd have like one full episode and like a quarter of the next episode, but there are times when a scene from like 4 episodes later would get cut back into this episode. So when we're talking about Trouble on Arlia, the original 96 version of that episode, that version is comprised of scenes from DBZ episodes 11, 12, 13, and 14, even though the next episode, Home for Infinite Losers, is comprised of episodes 12 and 13. Yes, something from episode 14 was put earlier into that mix that then went on to the next episode.
That's right. And I was going right up to the very end of every episode because sometimes they would sneak in like less than a minute's worth of footage from the next one. And it's like, well, that's in there now.
Was I right about Piccolo and the pyramids being like a weird one? I always remember that.
That was, yes. And it was really confusing because there were a lot of, especially around that time, it was cutting back and forth between Gohan and Piccolo, whatever the hell Goku was doing. And it was getting a little hard to keep track. I had to rewind multiple times around those parts just to make sure. I was like, okay, that's definitely that episode. I have to write that down. And, but yeah, you were right. They not only scooched things around, but they would straight up make edits in the middle of scenes and rearrange them. Like stuff would happen sooner or later in the English dub.
I love that. Before we go too much further, tell me about punctuation on these as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You're talking about the title cards.
Yeah.
So on the backs of the DVD boxes and the VHSs, obviously are the episode summaries, which are provided on the individual pages. If you go to what I believe is Showdown. Yeah. Go to the Showdown page. No, that's last one of the first saga. There you go. You'll notice a sick on every single one of those episodes.
Oh my gosh.
They missed the what the episode was written of in the show versus what was on the box, whether it's leaving out an exclamation point. Well, actually, in every case, it's leaving out an exclamation point. And on the last one, they added one. There's 2 for Stop Vegeta Now.
Okay, so what you're saying is the back of the box has 2 exclamation points while the title card only has 1. Up here, I guess, it's just the exclamation point there. I was going to say the Goku versus Vegeta was probably like text before the screen. Yeah. Like morphs. So.
It's stuff like that. And I'm having to clarify like right above, like this is presented exactly as it was written.
Yeah.
yeah, catching stuff like that is making my eyes cross over.
Yeah, it's crazy. I got to
use there.
Just some similar examples for me that I would do. Was it Brief Return of Dr. Slump? Let's check that. I'm trying to think. Yep. So I would do, okay. So there's this thing that a lot of early chapters did. All of Dr. Slump did this, where in Japanese, the end of its chapter title would have, if it didn't have the ellipses, it would end with no maki. And that just refers to like, this is the episode or the chapter in which this takes place. And for a while on one of the other pages, I was actually translating that in a style to match the like real kind of snappy and drawly and kind of like quirky titles. Eventually I undid that because it ultimately didn't make sense and was kind of taking away from the meaning. But anyway, so in some of the V-Jump serializations, especially The Brief Return of Dr. Slump, because that's a Dr. Slump sequel series, they kept the nomaki for those titles, which is cool. Except not all of the time they would have the ellipses, or sometimes they would add them in versus the collected edition. So as I was going through these, I told you all the instances of when the ellipses are actually in the title versus not in the original serialization versus the collected edition, because you have to do that. I'm just looking at some of these other notes I put in here, explaining what that is. There's a couple of cases where like explaining why the furigana tells you a different pronunciation. Could probably do the furigana. I honestly, I probably should have. That would take way too much time to go in and do for the amount of work that I was doing on some of these, though. But yeah, just that kind of stuff of, hey, we'll tell you way more than you ever wanted to know about the title of this one little thing, just because, we're going through it and we notice those things as we go through it. Something we haven't talked about was, the scope. It's not just Dragon Ball. It's dub stuff. It's Dr. Slump. It's sequel series. At least for me, and Jake, I thought this is really actually cute the way you phrased it. When we were talking about doing Captain Ginyu, Assault and Double Cross stuff, you're like, hey, this is really important to you and your fandom. I'm like, yeah, it was. Like there's real formative stuff in there that I think is worth noting, especially in a time when for a lot of these single disc volumes, whether it's from the syndication era or into the single discs, that's not what the show is on home video or streaming anymore. We've talked about this a lot lately, like whether it's on Mario Kart or even just some of our own discussions, like the stuff you saw on Toonami in 1999 is not what you see now. The voice performances, even script differences. Hey, you guys, don't piss off the God of Love. Like that exact delivery is burned into my head from that time. And I think it's important for us to note and explain that stuff again, as folks who were there, and especially me, who was a little bit older, has, whether it's more solid memories or at least a different perspective, to share that there. So,
I mean, yeah, speaking on that, please highlight what you did for the Arrival DVD. And I think you did the write-up for episode 1 of the English dub.
Oh yeah. We'll go into it and see. You want to go to like just actual episode 1 here?
Yeah, there you go. And I did add a tiny bit.
Okay,
yeah,
excellent.
Let's
actually look at the history though and see who did it. Was it me or was it Therese? It was me in 2020. Look at that. Oh no, and then Therese came in and did corrections.
Oh, okay.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Well,
fix some stuff there.
This stuff, I mean, we got the Prelude to Trunks DVD.
Actually, I want to go back.
For me, as a fan of
no, not yet. Okay.
Kanzenshuu, of like coming in here, I just appreciate knowing that you have your these pages that you were personally there for, and like really putting your mark in for these specific things. And going forward, the format for those dub episodes, like showing all of the dialogue changes and the censorship, it's hopefully, I would love to keep up with that. It's going to take some time, but it's
definitely
a great place to start.
Yeah, I was actually just checking for you the other day something. So the way I came into Dragon Ball, and I've been telling myself and y'all this story so long, it's on verbal record, so it must be true, is I came in with episode 2 of DBZ in syndication. I had a friend who watched the first episode, told me to tune in the next week, so I did. So I've been here since September 1996. My wife was there since 1995. And luckily I married someone who was recording at the time. So I have actual broadcast recordings of the arrival of Raditz. So when it first came on TV, we did an early podcast about that, actually, going through the dialogue differences. This is before Rock the Dragon existed. So you've got the crustiest VHS recording audio files on that episode. But anyway, I say this to say, yes, I've basically been here since the beginning of Z from Funimation in America. So I know this stuff pretty well. So, we did a full write-up of a summary of this episode as it is in that dub. Went through the edits, and so this is what you're talking about. So these are the line changes between the original broadcast and then what was ultimately on the home video before Rock the Dragon, and just some of the visual changes that were done there. These things have never left my brain. I mean, the frothy mug of water continues to be, that was done in abridged. That kind of thing just has been with us as fans since 1996. I really, really wanted to get this stuff done and give it the attention. This page just keeps fucking going, doesn't it, man?
Well, that's kind of what I was talking about, dude. I was like, this is going to be interesting going forward. Especially like mentioning the edits for those first 50 something episodes. It's like, man, I would love it if we became the go-to source for that, just for people to see, but it's going to take some time. Yeah.
Oof. Okay. So yeah, that's there. The other thing I will mention is I know I've talked about this before. Is it 51? I think it's 51. So this episode, again, as someone who was there and was recording at the time, this episode had a different title on its original broadcast, and I captured it and put it here. It's on the wiki. As far as I know, this is the only imagery of this title card that exists on the internet. So there you go. If
Who knows why?
If it pops up anywhere else, we'll know where it came from. So that. Yeah. Why did they change it? No idea.
I just noticed that it says the Relentless Raccoon has too many O's right above the image.
Whoa!
Oh my God, it does. Hey, let's do that. Raccoon.
I was in there grabbing something. Watch it be my fault.
You know what?
That's hilarious.
Let's not see whose fault it is.
We left intentional typos as Easter eggs.
I have thought about poisoning the wiki in some places just to see, what gets picked up places. Actually, one of the edits I was doing was I still had a bunch of stuff left in here as like placeholders all copied from episode 1. It's like, I got to get rid of that because it still shows like the farmer and other stuff too. Anyway, I got rid of that.
Yeah, there are definitely some places that still have like placeholders, and I'm just going to have to work through.
God, so we've showcased, a little bit of home video, but otherwise we've talked about dub stuff and Dragon Quest. Let's go to the peanut gallery here, Twitch. Who do we got out there? Is there something else you don't know about that you're like, hey, do you have this? I'm trying to think of like some of the last minute navigation stuff I was trying to do. Is like, oh God, how are people even going to find some of these pages? Like culture was one. Yeah, I'll check the Terry name spelling. Thanks for that.
I'm checking on that right now.
This culture one where we had Zephyr's pages. But then I had some stuff I was doing with Therese forever ago. Like there's really nothing on this page. This is all TBD, but it's all just stuff I'm aware of and need to do. But then I was thinking I did some Journeys to the West stuff. So let me drop those in there. Otherwise, how are you going to even know to find some of those? Like some of the things that you'll never find unless you go to my user page. the list of supplemental booklets. This is something that I was doing early on. So yeah, like the theater booklets, but hey, I have a page for all of the Jump Victory Carnival books. I own all of the Jump Festa books, so I'm going to be putting those in there. These supplemental books. This is the important one. This is the one that says it's a canon sequel. So, I've got a page for this booklet that you can cite, but you never know that it's there unless you come to the supplemental booklets page. This is the thing I was talking about was with you, Jake, when you're on here on the podcast, like, hey, grab this book. This is this book that was given out at Jump Festa, but it's got Dragon Ball in it and no one knows it exists. So I'll put it here. Here's stuff that was just as a part of E-Jump, stuff that was as a part of Psycho Jump. All this stuff is listed. I was eventually going to do video game books, but I haven't really gotten to a lot of that stuff. So I see that as like, kind of go to the user pages and spy on people that way too. Everyone did a pretty good job of listing all the things that they did. So you go to my user page. This is what I did. This is what I've been working on for fucking 15 years. Yeah.
Shu, do you have something? I have something I want to shout out, but I don't know if you have anything you're thinking.
I don't really have anything right now.
Well, I'm gonna shout out what Zephyr has been up to with the real world timeline.
This is like the best page on the internet right now.
This is insane. What this man has done.
Preface to timeline. Like, hold on. All right. Before we get into it, here's what you need to know. Like, it's so good. I
love all this.
This is what we want.
I don't know what else to say other than like, behold,
like I've been scrolling for a while and we're still only this far into the page.
And it's all contextual. Like it's all related to what led us to now, like what Toriyama's influences were. It's amazing.
Love it. So like, Dragon Quest X is out. Connect is coming out. Here's where Battle of Gods is. But all that stuff is kind of like recent history, at least to me. 2015 feels like recent history. But when you get back to like the Dr. Slump thing, this is great. This is like this is when Toriyama gets married, and this is when it is during Dr. Slump.
That I love that because there have been times when I'm rereading Dragon Ball or really reading anything that I'm like a big fan of, like I guess like Berserk, for example. Just it's like, man, I wonder what this guy was thinking. I wonder what they were thinking, like what they were going through at this part of their life while they were doing this. And
Alien, like this is critical. Knowing when Alien is released, and then be like, okay, that stuff starts showing up. Like it's right before Dr. Slump starts. Like it's on his mind.
I love that. Like maybe a casual like viewer would be like going through here and be like, "Why is Alien on here? Why is Bruce Lee mentioned?" But it's all tied.
Yeah, stuff rules. And then like last second before we launched, started working on this page too. This is incredible. Just like basically a kanji guide, but like broader as it relates to Dragon Ball is so good. Like this is all the stuff that you're gonna see. All this. It's
like an index in the back of a huge book.
Yeah. Hold on. Do we have? No, we don't have Yusha on here. We got a hero on here. More for Dragon Quest than anything else, but I'll add that in. Yusha, brave person, means hero. I love this.
So, Turntex had a question in the chat a little earlier.
Yeah.
I figured we could chat about it.
Yeah.
Asks, do you have a list of English Dragon Ball manga releases?
Yes.
Short answer, no.
Short answer, yes. Short answer, no.
Okay.
So we have some stuff. So for the serialization in America, we have 2 pages. We have the monthly comics, so the floppies. This page is effectively content complete. just needs some cover scans edited. Randy was working on some of these earlier, just trying to sneak something in without us noticing. But everything else here in terms of like information is done. Oh my God. So
I was totally wrong. Short answer, yes. Definitely not short answer, no.
So that's here. And then I also did the magazine that Viz put out, the Shonen Jump print magazine. So I talk about its history there, the launch lineup. And then I've also got every chapter from its start in issue 0 up through the time that Dragon Ball's serialization there stops. And then they switch over to just graphic novels only, although it came back for Cross Epoch, the April Fool's issue, which kind of makes sense. So that's all noted there. But then we do have some stuff for additional English releases. This is a page I did. People forget about this, but they did 2 hardcover releases of volume 1 of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. So I've got this. I've got the press release for it and the staff on that. I don't think we have just the straight up. Oh no, Viz graphic novels. So those are the bigger ones that came out where they only did like 10 volumes of each before they switched over to the Shonen Jump sized graphic novels. So that's here.
Oh yeah.
It links to the Japanese tankobon page though. But then, Viz Big is all here. And the 3-in-1s are also all here. So they're kind of just raw listings for the most part. But you at least have, valid release dates and contents of what they are. There's also a plan for all the Dr. Slump graphic novels in there as well. Manga Theater, we'll do Sandland and Jaco and stuff on there. This is basically what I was thinking. Good. Well, I hope so. In addition to that, hey, what about the 5th anniversary collector's edition of Shonen Jump? Yep, I'll tell you everything that was in that special hardcover thing. Here's a press release for when that came out. Hey, what about the Shonen Jump Alpha Yearbook 2013? This is when they did a couple pages of Sachi-chan. That's in there. Yep, got a page for that. Yeah, we've got a lot. The manga page was also one of the last things that I was working on. It's really basic, but I was like, oh shit, like you can't find a lot of this stuff because it's not linked anywhere. So I really tried to get in here and add categories to things. So like, all right, Dr. Slump. All right, here's what there is. I mean, list of Dr. Slump chapters. Therese knocked it out of the park on this. Like, you want to know what chapter is in all the volumes, and this is in actual publication order, so the Donbei chapter is where it's supposed to be and not moved around to, what is it, volume 4? 3 that it gets moved to, but it's actually chapter 22. So we list the bunkos, the kanzenban, tankobon, all of these have pages. All of these have Toriyama's weekly comment from Jump when that came out, because Julian translated all this stuff a decade ago and we've just been waiting for a place to put it. All of Dr. Slump is here. The only Dr. Slump thing we haven't done yet is the 1997 reboot manga, which I think this is, let's find out. Is this the issue with the last chapter of it? Oh, that's Digimon. What year is this? This is 99. Why did I buy this issue? What issue is this? This is 99, number 7. V-Jump, 1999. Oh, I bought this for V-Jump Festival 1999 dates. I forget what issue the Dr. Slump manga ends, but it's sometime around here, so I'll figure that out. What else did I buy? 99, number 5. What's in there? Why did I buy this? 99, number 5. That would be May. I didn't write down the fact that I bought this one. No, this is 2000, number 5. Oh, this is probably for... this is Slime Daisakusen, chapter 1. So this is one of Osamu Kaneko's manga. Which which I also bought all the collected editions of. So I've got all of Operation Slime, except the back of it provides an actual translation. Hold on. So Daisakusen, you'll see it a lot. You saw it in one of the Arale games. Dai is large. Sakusen is like a mission. So it's a big mission. It's typically translated as operation, like a military battle. It'll be like Operation : something. Normally I would translate it as Operation Slime, but the back of these manga volumes literally call it Great Mission of the Slime. So I got to call it Great Mission of the Slime. So that's what that is. So the first actual serialization chapter, hold on, let me put these down just to show the extent that I'm going to for some of this stuff. Whoop, I don't have Kaneko listed on my own user page. Okay. Just go to it. I'll remember to put that in there. The chapter title page for Slime Daisakusen I hadn't done yet, so I bought the issue, so I'll put it in there. And then the same with the one that I just learned he did with Oishi, the Monster Battle Road Victory. These chapter 1 serialization title pages don't exist anywhere on the internet, as far as I can tell. So, and they are bigger than 100 pixels. Just, you know, when I make the pages, you'll see them there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole other, I don't even know how to, we'll see in the coming years how often our images are, how often the images are used across the internet, where our stuff
I'll say this. I'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that all started with was the Texas question of what do you got for English manga? We got English manga. It's there.
Yeah.
Gosh. Man. What else? I just keep going to my user page. This is all stuff that I know that I'm working on.
I've got something to shout out, actually.
Yeah, what?
If you pull up like the Shunsuke Kikuchi catalog,
yes.
I think the music page is really
Oh my God, yes. Let's go to catalogs. I guess let's do Dragon Ball. Oh no, I'll go to the Kikuchi catalog itself. Yeah, so what started with Kenisu obviously did an incredible base job of work. No one had done it before. Therese said, "Hold my beer." Yeah.
I mean, just that introduction itself of here's Kanzenshoo's own, the K numbers represent the order in which the music debuted.
Yeah.
Like we have our own, cataloging system for the music.
Right.
That in of itself helps clean up so much of the, trying to figure out which of these tracks from which official release is on what, and especially for the unreleased one. Like that in of itself, crazy work, amazing. And yeah, Torres took it even a step further.
God, I forgot that all of these have pages. So like, here's an unreleased one, but it's, here's our catalog for it is the Kanzenshuu catalog number. And so, that comes back to that catalog page. This piece debuted in Dragon Ball episode 1. Compositional analysis of this piece. Here are the times that it's used. Y'all. So let's go to let's go to a piece that has a real catalog number. Was included on other stuff, and we'll look at this one. Okay, so this one's not as fleshed out as some of the other ones, but that's man.
It's there. It started.
Yeah, they're all started. They're there. All of
plus providing
Dragon Ball
relevant
movie
screenshots. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. I know obviously she wants to get back to this. There's a lot. There's a lot here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's more to it. Sumitomo's catalog is here. Sure. That's fine.
Probably technically easier to keep track of.
Yeah. A real easy one was the Super Dragon Ball Heroes, was this? Yeah, this has a. So this has. Here's all the times this piece was used in superheroes.
Wow.
Got an analysis of this one too. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff where it's like, yeah, we need help and we want people to work on the wiki and we need general work. Yeah. But we also want the sickos. Like we need, this is what we want to do. You know, I think of myself as a generalist, but also a, you know, pat myself on the back here. I'm a pretty educated, well-versed generalist for Dragon Ball, but I can't know everything. I want the people that are like, you know, to AJ's level of being able to teach people to identify animators by smoke. Therese with the music here, like, this is the shit we want.
Yeah,
here.
This is some real expertise. I mean, not to mention the translators as well.
Absolutely. Gosh, I want to go back to, so if I go to maybe like the Booble, I think I mentioned this with Zenpai on the podcast. Of course, I haven't done the synopsis yet. But this is one of Toriyama's one-shots that has been collected in Shueisha collection, but not like a Toriyama collection. So it wasn't in Blank Piece Theater, Manga Theater, because it came out after Manga Theater Volume 3. So it's like kind of exclusive to its original serialization. Sorry for Samurai X, but that is what it is. But yeah, so like his comments here about Booble, and Julian did a lot of these transcriptions forever ago and just hadn't gotten around to translating them yet. So, you know, I had most of this page basically done. I was like, hey man, can I get, you know, there's like one line here. Could I get this translated? So like anything that Toriyama said about this effectively uncollected one shot is all here. Like there's a lot of original translation work that exists throughout here. And some of these are part of larger things that will then get ported back to the main site in the actual translation section. Like when he did things for the Jump Remix volumes, that's part of a larger column that has comments about a bunch of different works. So that'll all get ported back there when all of it's translated. But yeah. Oh gosh. Speaking of translations for things, it's not done, but hey, this is the 5 CD set, the Daisakusen, formative for me, incredible. Hey, this came with the booklet. What if we gave you the translation for all of the information about the songs that is in the booklet?
Oh. Whoa.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to comb through this. Didn't know this was here.
I'm scrolling. There is a point where it's not all done yet. I think it's when it gets to, all right, so all of that. So this is Z music. So all of the Dragon Ball original series is done. I think all of Z background music is done or mostly done. Yep. So then we get into, I think it's just the movie stuff that isn't finished yet. Yep. So the Z movies from here are not done translated yet, but at least for the TV series, all that stuff is translated. Yeah. You know, I really like music. I'm not at Teresa's level, so I can't do that kind of stuff, but I do know what I do know. So I tried to do things like, hey, I remember when Forte Music was spun. Oh, this table is totally breaking the page. I remember when Forte Music was spun off and they did certain releases that were only on this record label for a little bit. So I'm going to at least like list all of those out here. And I own all these, so I still have to do the cover scans for them. That at least sets the basis for someone else to come in and do that stuff. I'm aware of the fact that there are like giveaways for the Dokkan Battle soundtracks before it got its own anniversary set that I'm looking at that I paid too much money for a game I don't play. But like, so able to grab a picture of like, this is the, the note that was given to the winner of this. So we'll have a translation for it up there at some point too. Trying to think of what else is super cool music wise to look at. Maybe, I mean, it's all awesome.
Do we have a page on Yamamoto?
I don't think so. No, because I just added his name there and it's not linked. Yeah. I don't think we have a catalog for him. Oh, I didn't put his name here in the catalog either. All right, well, let's paste his name in here and we'll see what comes up. Let's see. He would have to come after Kikuchi. So if we do Kenji Yamamoto catalog, is that a blue link? No. So that's not done yet.
That one's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
just for like all the different things that he's had his fingers in.
Gosh, and like, where do you start?
We got to put plagiarism notes in.
Yeah, right.
Its own section.
but it's like, do you start with the video games or do you start just with TV series? I would probably break it out separate, like Kenji Yamamoto video game catalog versus Kenji Yamamoto anime catalog. Especially for video games where it might be unclear whether he was involved yet or not. It's not, your point, wasn't credited. So
I was going to say he was involved pretty early on.
Like, I don't know if he was involved in the 8-bit era. Like 16-bit era is when I know he was involved.
Yeah.
He definitely worked on all those games. So I just don't know off the top of my head. Trying to think. I'm really thinking back to, is it Dogorosu's question of like, hey, show the things that you did that you're proud of. Oh, I got to show my buddy Saibaiking. His page is complete. I know folks were looking at this. He's in a manga. Yes. Here's all of his attacks and fusions. And hey, here's a breakdown of his dialogue quirk differences between Japanese and English. We're crazy.
That's a complete page right there.
That is. Yep. Sure is. Yeah. I got to link all of these attacks at some point, but for the most part.
Kev Treff says he recently based the Saibaimen page off of this. So when he was
for Saibaimen. Excellent. Perfect. I'm just talking about some of the background work that needs to get done for things. So I'll just show like my Dragon Quest template. Like, this is the thing you'll see at the bottom of a page. Obviously I'm not done. Like, I haven't put in, I don't know if I'm going to make pages for all these games, but I want to like give myself the space for, and maybe one day after I'm gone, someone else will make the page for Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 2. They'll feel the need. But this is also a great way for me to keep track of like, all right, what have I done? What have I haven't done? Like, you can see the different link colors on these. Of course, I keep finding more series, but like, someone has to make this template. You got to have that in there. Heath did a lot of that stuff, but I did some of these too, like even the sidebar ones for VHS releases, which is different from the one for DVD releases, just because there's different things there. Like bitrate doesn't apply to VHS. So, community pages. I feel strongly about history. I made a page for SRE GBZ's Dragon Ball homepage because, of course, I would, because I'm Mike and that's what I do. And I just,
these old homepages are. The section for these homepages.
Yes.
Can I just say? I mean, again, I know you were there, but like, formative, very important that we prop these up because who else is?
So Connor was asking during Mario Kart like a week or two ago, like, hey, how come no one mentioned Senasaur? I was like, hey, I've got the page for Senasaur on the wiki, and here it is. So, here's the list that I could find of the stuff that they subbed. I want to shout out Don from Anime Nostalgia Podcast, who did the research, did the grunt work for the Miami Mike stuff. So I cited that all here. We got links to that in there as well. I also mentioned this the other day. Like, I feel like I've been chasing Steve and Curtis and folks for years. I have total imposter syndrome about the work that I've done. And I feel like I've always wanted to do what they did. And I finally the other day went back and actually looked at the Akira Toriyama super database. Was like, oh yeah, we've long since exceeded any work that they had done on that. But I still feel like, oh, it's not good enough. It doesn't have everything, but I obviously haven't filled out all this yet, but I wanted to stuff like when they did their petition to get future releases and bilingual stuff. Like, these 3 paragraphs right here. This is why we have subtitled Dragon Ball in America.
Yeah.
And no one else writes about this stuff anymore. So I feel like I had to.
Hey, I wonder what that magnificent creature Steven Simmons is up to these days.
Unfortunately, not doing subtitles for Crunchymation anymore, which is a bummer. Gosh, is there anything else cool? All right, we've got to talk about. I was posting about this. I feel bad because like Ken was like, "Hey, check out my citations." Like, yeah, check out my citations.
Oh my God!
I didn't mean it that way, but I realized in retrospect, like it kind of comes across that way. But
you're not beating the allegations, Mike.
No, I know. I like Vegito. Final Bout was a formative game for me. Final Kamehameha is important to Vegito in that game. I wanted to do a bunch of stuff where it's like, I'm going to do one CD. I'm going to do one transformation. I'm going to do one attack. And then, other people can use these as a basis to make other pages. So this is one of them that I started. I really only got back to it in the last couple of weeks, looking ahead to the launch. But I'm like, okay, I want to really get into it. So it's an obvious name. But I want to talk about the history. Like, technically, it debuts with Gogeta in Ultimate Battle 22. And here's a weird thing about them changing Gogeta's name to Vegito in that game. Here's where, like, kind of more formally debuts. Here's its anime debut. Yeah, here's some more production stuff about it. Here are some of the variations of it as well. What if we list all the times it shows up? But what if we went beyond there and gave you a screenshot of it there, so you don't just have to take my word for it? Dun. Scroll down a little further, like, yeah, and then it's in animation. What if I told you about all the stuff online that's wrong about the final Kamehameha? Things like,
arguably the juiciest part.
Yeah. It's definitely in here somewhere. There's definitely times where I've written other online lesser documentation sources, and I'm really trying to not write it that way, but I feel like I have to write it that way sometimes. You'll always see Vegito as having the final Kamehameha in Hyperdimension. Not according to his move list. It's just a regular Kamehameha. I've seen stuff out there about how he has it, and I was posting about this in Discord the other day about how he has it in Jump Ultimate Stars. Not according to the strategy guide for the game. It's a Cho Super Kamehameha. So just talking about that kind of stuff. And I even saw one of the other wikis out there saying, the Kamehameha he uses in 272, that's a final Kamehameha. Nothing says it is. In fact, the Daisakusen 10 Supplemental Part 3 doesn't even mention the fact that he does a Kamehameha at all. So you can't say that it's the final Kamehameha. This is probably the best part of this page. It's erroneous citations. Could be a section on practically every page. I agree, and I'm doing everything in my power to not do that, but it's actually kind of the most fun to do.
Here's the thing when it comes to like, I'm pretty sure I am just as guilty in very casual conversations of just talking about Dragon Ball with either like a friend or a stranger of like, oh yeah, this is brought up in like where is, if they ask where is this from? And I'm like, oh, it was in the guidebook. It was in the Daisakusen.
Sure. Yeah.
Without actually having that in front of me being like, oh, that's where that's from.
Yeah. But that's different.
The difference is
casual conversation versus
right.
Written on a page.
Yeah, exactly. So when you're going off of that vibe and then putting it on your, Wikipedia, that's what this is for. That's what this project is for. So
I guess maybe I'll just do a little bit of show and tell. One of the other things I got in my box today was, and this cost not a pretty penny, but it cost a few pennies. This is the April 1995 issue of V-Jump. This is the Chrono Trigger cover that Toriyama did.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Yeah.
I have all the trial issues. And then I start with the actual monthly reboot of the July 93 issue. And then I go basically to the end of 94. I'm missing like a couple at the very end. I have half of 95. I got more than half of 95 now. And then I pick up at the very end of 95 and I go all the way into like 1999. I got a lot of that because of the GT research we were doing. That's all of the GT time frame. So I'm really trying to fill in the holes from like, what am I missing between 93 and 99 now? This was one of them that I was missing there because it's expensive because it's an actual Toriyama cover. But there was also some other stuff in here I think I wanted to check. Yeah, like there's a chapter of, Slime Adventure, the Osamu Kaneko one. Like I noticed that the chapter numbers weren't lining up. Like when I was doing my complete list of V-Jump issues. Let me load up that page right now, actually.
Which is also a beast in of itself.
I will, I forget, my apologies. I don't remember who it was, but they were messaging me. Was it on Blue Sky? Just as a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, they were thankful. It's like, this information isn't out there. And it's great for them at a glance to just scroll through and see the covers. Part of me is like, yeah, man, of course. Like, this is what I'm here for. I want people from other franchises to find value in the stuff that we have and kind of like take that and think for themselves like, oh, can I do this? Because that's something I kind of want to drive home about. Maybe V-Jump in particular, especially the modern era of V-Jump. Like if you're into current things, V-Jump's website is somewhat robust going back a few years. Anyone at any time could have made this page. And they just didn't because it's like maybe you didn't think to or didn't know where to start. But between their page, the other thing I'm learning is the official Dragon Quest website, and in particular the Adventure of Dai subsection, they also, like the Dragon Ball official site, list whenever a new chapter or something comes out. They have even higher resolution covers of all the V-Jump issues. I need to go back to the Dragon Quest site and steal all of their images and replace my images with their higher resolution stuff. That reminds me of something else. Like, oh, okay. I'm going to forget where I'm going here. Where were we going? We were doing, God, was it? Yes.
Well, you didn't mention where we were going, but you did want to look at the page for something.
Yeah. It was in this era. I noticed that the chapter numbers were like sort of lining up, but then I saw something that didn't seem to actually make sense. And it was this, is there something special about this Slime Adventure chapter in this expensive April 1995 issue that gives it a different chapter designation? And yes, it's Slime Adventure at CES that year. Yes, the Consumer Electronics Show. Oh shit. Hold on. Yeah, here is Slime Adventure checking out Star Fox 2.
Oh my God. Are you kidding?
Like, cool stuff, man. So yeah, I really wanted to check that out and see for myself exactly what was. Here's a 2-page spread on Dragon Ball Z2 Super Battle for the arcade. Like, this is why you got to get the actual issues. Oh, okay, perfect. This makes sense. Now there's a separate chapter of Slime Adventure that is actually chapter 22. That's the thing I saw in some online listings. I saw the first page of the CES one that didn't have a 2-2 on it. And I had the before and the after. I was like, but that one doesn't say chapter 22. So now we know there's a bonus chapter of Slime Adventure in here in addition to chapter 22. Learned it live on stream. Look at that.
Interesting.
So I'll throw in that information. Okay, so now going back to, speaking of higher resolution images of things, if we go to Avon, Dark Lord of Hellfire, this is the Dai prequel that is running in V-Jump right now. Again, as I get myself more exposed to this stuff, I've talked a lot about how Super and Boruto together was really changing the face of what V-Jump manga was. I didn't really think about this one, the fact that this has been running since 2020 as well. This is actually like, it's the third pillar of that. Like it's that level of it's not the exact original team. It's half the original team with the new artist. Is it Shibata who does this? Yeah. So the official site, let's see if I can click through. Will this one have it? So I've got publication sources for all these. One of them is myself telling you exactly what pages it's on in that issue, and the other is the official site. So a lot of them have pretty okay cover art for these. Some of them don't. Oh, whoops. No, let me go back. Oh, no, I was right. That was that page. Let's see. What will this one have? Well, that one does too. There's a couple. All right, here's a good example. Whenever there's a double page spread, I think the official site usually doesn't have it. But to my earlier point, you can see how big their image of the V-Jump cover is. So I'm like, oh shit, am I gonna have to scan this myself? Shibata, the artist, just puts up like the print files on Twitter for the chapter title pages.
Yeah, wow.
Like with the crop marks, like print files. So I'm like, cool, thanks. Yeah.
Did just use that.
So yeah, that's where some of these come from. There was one. This one I'm going to say is a bit of a fake. When it goes from V-Jump serialization to, let's see if I'm going to have to do it this way because I don't have a page for it. When it goes from V-Jump serialization to collected edition, they usually remove the splash of the title. But the rest of the page is exactly the same. So this one wasn't on the official site and Shibata hadn't posted a photo of it. So what I did was I took the collected edition digital version and then I scanned my V-Jump and I meshed the title into where it was originally here and added author credits down at the bottom where they had been removed. So that's
okay.
Dumb work that I did. But then there was one the other day that I did too. I think it's this one where this is just a flat out scan because it was not posted anywhere. And it actually had enough binding that I could get to the gutter and not have like weird blurs or anything on the side of it. So I wouldn't be missing one of the title pages. But this is a prequel manga to, I'm losing my voice just because I'm so excited and showing off so much stuff. Yeah, losing my mind on this stuff, but it's cool. It's cool. And I'm like a third of the way through this one. At this point, I'm just trying to do like 2 chapters a day just so I don't lose the trail on it. But
shout out to Ken on the S.H.Figuarts page, which is also just a different corner that could easily be its own insane project.
So I was thinking like on the main page, I need to make like a merchandise category, and that would kind of be inclusive of music and books and guides and games and stuff too. But I didn't like, I ran out of time. I wasn't sure where to put it. Cause you'll never find this page unless you know to look for it, which is why I put it on the suggested list of things to check out. But yeah, you talk about this while I scroll and just look how cool it is.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I also love the detail about, because the Piccolo being the first one, I would have never have known unless someone else had told me. But yeah, having all the information right here about what makes it exclusive. And honestly, the only thing that I'm wondering if we'll ever get into it are like scans of what the front of these boxes look like. And that would be a major undertaking. But seeing this, I grew up with the Super Battle Collection figures, and I'm just like, how deep do we go on this? I think this is a great, if it was just one in-depth part of merchandise that we were doing, then I agree that S.H.Figuarts should be it, because there's a lot of fascinating history with all these.
Still scrolling.
Yeah, still scrolling. I love all this. I love the MSRP.
Yeah, and like when it's wrong, erroneous citations. Yep.
Like, again, this is another, like, you may not be into Dragon Ball, but what if you're into figure collecting? Come on over. Like,
totally. All the notes that go with it. I know he's got one other page too. Just to your point about Super Battle Collection, I feel like that's probably one that I want to get in there. But that's also like, I think I know about it. I probably don't actually know what I don't know about it. But if we could at least just do a list.
Yeah. That's one of the, we start with a list, but it's one of those things where I feel like if we learn something about like a weird release, the more we dig into that, the more insane that gets because of all the different ways those things were produced. So
Tex, you're absolutely right. Doug needs to contribute and scan his boxes. Yes.
Yeah, he does. Oh my God. He's
I know a guy.
He has them all in one place. Doug, if you're listening, we'll find a way to rent a scanner or something to your house.
All right. This actually went longer than I thought it would. I'm having such a good time. Yeah. I don't have anywhere to be, but this is what I wanted to do. Just having a wonderful time looking at this. Jaco, is there anything else that you think is important for us to take a look at and just let people know is here to even look at? 'Cause that's kind of what I wanted to do was, I've been looking at the analytics for what people are checking out, and it's the expected stuff. It's characters, it's the Dragon World. Yeah, I want people to look at that stuff, but I also want them to think weird and like just search for random words and like see what there is. And I hope this was a little bit of a showcase to go further beyond. So do you have any other thoughts or examples on some of the weird stuff that you've seen?
I'm just double checking real quick when you said that. Shu, you can go ahead, but I was like, I wonder if people are going to come here asking about Jaco.
I think I at least have the main page for Jaco. I did the page for Jaco's spaceship. Let's go look at that instead. Jaco's new spaceship. Different from Jaco's spaceship. Yeah, so I sort of started. Okay. Not a whole lot.
Gotcha.
Check out real world references in Dragon Ball.
Yes, that's on the culture page. I think that's the page that Joe had done forever ago. See also Dr. Slump references in Dragon Ball. Yeah, this is super cool. I mean, it's pretty inclusive, and I think folks have already told us some more things to include, but this is awesome. Like, he really went wild on here. I remember looking up the like the Goonies and ZZ Top and American Graffiti specifically.
Oh yeah, this is great.
Yeah, Fandango is not the movie ticket site. It's a movie. Fox. This is so good. Yeah, Ultraman. It takes 6 chapters before Toriyama finally does Ultraman and Dragon Ball. he held back as best he could, but no, you get it. The Wizard of Oz stuff.
Oh my God.
Oh, Miffy.
There's something on here.
Yeah.
There's something on here. You're getting to it soon. The song that Kuririn sings in movie 8. I had no idea that was a real song.
Yeah. I think a lot of people found that out when the Ava movie included it. Like, wait a minute.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Spaso Kudasai. Is considered either amazingly or comically bad, depending on the listener.
Yeah.
That's actually a factual statement. So, yeah, all the masks that Turtle Hermit goes
in all
through.
Japan.
Camera manufacturers specifically in that scene. Yes, the Super Saiyan shirt. So good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Stuff in movie 9. Movie 9's backgrounds are incredible. We get this Stitch here.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, here.
Was that a Therese Stitch?
I don't know.
She published or posted some amazing stitches that I like kept as wallpapers for a while.
Joe uploaded it, but
consolidated. Nice. Okay, cool.
These are the flags he was talking about. Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, we still got some to-dos, but yeah, stuff rules. Rules. All right. Chat. Last thoughts. I think maybe it's time to go have dinner.
Yes. Time flies.
It does.
I've been sitting here editing the Arrival covers this whole time, slowly but surely.
Nice.
So
Yes.
it's been a fun pastime.
Arrival covers. So we will have, thanks to a guy I know, I'm the guy, both VHS covers. I guess all 3 VHS covers for Arrival.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, this has been fun for me because, like you said, you're working on the thing you're working on. You kind of just have tunnel vision on that stuff. It's really cool to let's just think of a thing and see what there is. I added this on here today. I should have put this on before, but just random page. So you can just click and it'll just go somewhere. So, okay. So I just have, it's not much of a page right now, but unfortunately it came to someone who passed away, but it's the original voice for Dende. But, sometimes you'll just get, here we go. Here's like one of Trez's music pages. You just get that. Like you never know what you're going to get. And yeah, there's a lot of placeholder stuff. Oh, hey, we got a first time chat. Thank you, my friend.
Hey.
Yeah. I've been at this for a long time. Oh, this is the one that Randy was just uploading the picture of today, I think.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh, we got to change that. That's supposed to be a 4, not a 3. Andy. But thank you. Yeah. Thanks for checking this out. I'm so appreciative. You're here listening and reading all these decades later. To what we were talking about earlier. And I've been here a long time. I got a lot of stuff in my brain that Dr. Slump chapter 54 that I just need to dump somewhere. The main site's a great place for it. Oh, my page about the Prima strategy guides. So there are 4 of these. Here are the covers. Here's the bonus DVD main menu.
What?
Here's the GT episodes that it has on them. Also, by the way, they re-released this one later when the GameCube version of Budokai 1 came out. And that's when it got the DVD. Here's what it looks like. Yeah.
Wow.
Man, we could just do a random page and find the coolest stuff. This is fun. This is the way to do it.
That could be a whole stream on its own.
Yeah. This okay. Yeah. You're just going to get chapters and episodes a lot of the time. It reminds me of when I put my phone on shuffle and it's all FF14 music because I have a million tracks by Soken on my phone. Like when you do random shuffle on this, you're going to get chapter pages and episode pages.
Shout out on the chapter page. Hopefully you haven't. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I can go back.
Random.
Yeah.
Just the different covers. Just
sure.
Providing that for all the chapters, the Kanzenban, the Tankoban, and just all right there.
I mean, we want to also do Weekly Jump. Obviously, that takes a little more effort. There's some that we can do and will do, especially the ones that never got reprinted outside of their original Weekly Jump. I've been getting some of those. The Giant from GT. There's he has this before the GT pages do. Nicky Town's got a page. This is cool. I don't want to just do this all night, but this is fun, man. Random page. What do you get? What are you gonna get? The key animator. Look at this. Here's a page for an animator. Obviously, a lot of this stuff is pulled from the main animation production guide on the site. Who was it that did these pages? It was Soti that did a lot of this work. Not just this, but like, hey, what else did they do? Because it's so hard to find this information. Like, okay, yeah, this person worked on Shippuden.
Oh,
I worked
my gosh.
on, Osamatsu. They did. Here's their key animation roles on all this stuff. Yeah, man. We done good. That use the random page that you're going to find crazy stuff they didn't know was on here. And hopefully that leads you down a cool road of just like, oh, wow. I didn't know this was here. I didn't know this was a thing that existed. So.
Hey, we're on the main page. You got to show Today in Dragon Ball to close this out.
All right. Today in Dragon Ball. Let's close this out. What happened in April 3rd? Throughout time, we had chapters 269. We had Z episode 85. We had Super episode 37. We had Super Tankobon volume 12. And look at all those are linked. All of those have
It's
pages.
a dark time for Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah. That's cool. There's a lot more that we need to add in. Jake, you only just learned that this today template exists. Like opens up a whole new world of things to do.
Yeah. I've begun the editing of my own pages to future proof it. So yeah, it's begun. But oh boy,
it has begun. 4K that you see that 4K announced that in Annihilation. Arrow Films, thank you.
Oh my God, no, I didn't see that.
You missed it. That was just this week.
Oh.
I texted Albert immediately and he was like, yeah, I already got it, man. Like, all right.
Oh no, I'm going to the website now. I want those in 4K. Hell yeah.
All right. Well, I'll leave it there. This is your assignment. Random page, Arrow Films, Mortal Kombat, 4K set pre-order. And I feel bad doing it, but I'm going to do it. If you like what you saw, patreon.com/Kanzenshuu wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Helps keep the lights on every month, allows me to do this nonsense without worrying about it.
It's only the truth.
You know, just not the worst decision you could make in April 2026. That's that. That's what we've been working on for a while. That's why the podcast was a little sporadic, let's say, the last couple months. You get a big one this week, a 3-hour show. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't, check it out. Tech says Patreon is worth it for the cool company. Yep. It's a good group hanging out on Discord. $1 level is just, hey, keep it going. $5, you can hang out and chat with us. And honestly, a lot of it is just like, hey, what do you think of this page? Let's look at this. Also, let's play this video game. It's just a small group of cool folks. Chill. It's the place to be. It's Kanzenshuu has the best community. Everyone says that. Like, oh, our community is the best. They're all wrong because I'm correct. Kanzenshuu has the best community of folks. It's factually true. Citation not needed on that one.
Damn.
I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to take off.
All right.
Jake, Shu, thank you so much for hanging out with me and, suggesting pages, showing some of the work that you've done. I did a lot of work, but there's a lot of folks that also did a lot of work and they enjoy all the accolades as well. So couldn't have done it without them. Thank you, everyone. Obviously, this is just one piece. So this is launched. So I can kind of turn my attention back to what I love doing, which is articles beyond just documentation. I like combining the two. So Jake, when we were talking about FAQs and rumors earlier, I want to kind of turn my attention back to that and some features. I'm just going to let people roll with some of the wiki stuff here. Obviously, I love the podcast. I want to, kind of pick that back up now that this is out here. And, you can find me on the forum as well. And just.
I was going to say you're on Kanzenshuu on Blue Sky.
Yes.
Do you foresee making any I don't know, not announcements, but shout outs of hey, this just got put up on the wiki. You want to take a look at what do you think you'll be doing stuff like that in the future? Maybe
for big stuff. We're hey, check this out. What I'm also doing is every day I'm doing random page and I'm putting up a link to a random page on Blue Sky. So look for that. I hope to keep that up every day. I'm also keeping a spreadsheet for myself so I don't double repeat myself along the way. We're 2 in right now. I think today's was the Nameless Planet. I forget what yesterday's was already. And today is yesterday, as a wise man once said. So look for that there. Yeah, we are on Blue Sky. We are not on the Hell site anymore. Follow us there, hang out with us there, chat with us there. That's it. What am I missing?
Think you got it.
All right. Twitch, I had a wonderful time. I will archive this over on Kanzenshoo's YouTube channel. So you're already here. So you already heard and watched it, but maybe you tuned in late and you're missing it. Don't worry. Yeah, it'll hang out on my Twitch for a while, but I'll archive it on the main YouTube channel. So that'll be there.
Thanks for the providing the comfy couch for Shu and I.
You got it.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all. Good people. All right. Twitch, YouTube, thank you much. I will see y'all later. Actually, we are on for Cart tomorrow. Last minute change in the schedule. So maybe I'll see some of y'all tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern for Mario Kart on this channel. Otherwise, check out the wiki. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Have a good one.